Hi, I'm Theresa AuCoin. I am your health defender. I've been asked many times actually, how did I get to be so passionate about health and wellness? Why am I driven to read all these books and share as much information as I can possibly share? And when I think back, it really began with me witnessing a negative. My mother's health was not that great, and it was a lot of self-induced things going on with her. So I kind of learned from watching her what I did not want. I encouraged her to get healthy, to take some vitamins, and to and to walk. I encouraged her to go to the mall and walk and things like that. And she had emphysema, but she was a smoker, and she had other health issues, and she was a drinker, off and on anyway. And so I really wanted to help her, and it really frustrated me that I couldn't really help her a lot, because you have to want to help yourself first, right? So that's kind of started my journey. It started my awareness of it really does matter what we put in our body. We've got this one earth suit, and if we don't take care of it, we're going to end up like today. It's like over half the population has one or more chronic diseases, and it starts even in the ages of young children now. It's not, it shouldn't be that way. So I've observed a lot of changes. When I went to the grocery store with my grandmother, what we put in that basket, you could barely find in a grocery store today. It is so different. Share a lot of those differences with you. In my journey, I observed things like that, and then we got introduced to a nutrition company, Shackley, which was wonderful. We had some of the best experiences there, and I learned, and my husband with me, a lot about health and wellness from being involved with that nutrition company. So that was a huge blessing to me. And one of the things that I observed was that when my husband would take the vitamins, and we weren't taking that many, and we would take walks around the neighborhood, he would not be limping. He normally would walk with a little bit of you would barely notice it, but just a little bit of a limp. And so we started taking the vitamins, and that seemed to go away, and his pain went away. And then he said that couldn't be those little pills, right? So he stopped taking them, and all the pain and the discomfort came back. So we both became very big believers in there's no way to eat a perfect diet, so we can all benefit so much from supplementing. So that began that part of my journey, and I started really studying what the nutrients do, and got more interested and learning more and more. And then my sister in the year 2000, she got diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis and lupus, and she was in so much pain. I will never forget calling her about 7:30 one morning. She's answering the phone and just getting out of bed, and she's wincing. She didn't really know I could hear it, but it just broke my heart, because for her to put her feet on the floor even was painful. And if you know anybody with rheumatoid arthritis really seriously, that can be super painful. So in fact, the doctors told her in the year 2000 to get ready to be in a wheelchair, because by the year 2010, 10 years later, that was their expectation. That was their prognosis for her. Lots of meds, a lot of prescriptions, and a wheelchair. And that was unacceptable. But that was in the year 2000. And she's 3 years younger than me. So we went on a quest to learn, to find out where can we go to get more information, what can we do, what can she do, what can she change. And a long story made short, got a recommendation to go check out a facility that was in Texas, Austin, Texas. Unfortunately, it's not there anymore. But it saved her life, I believe, and certainly had a big influence on me. We flew down there. We stayed at one of those hotels you can rent by the week, and had a little kitchen in it. And we went to this facility and learned, for one, how to eat healthy. I had no idea that bread was not the thing you're supposed to be eating. It was not the staff of life, if you will, and all kinds of things. And so that began a journey of transformation for both of us. I went through the program with her. I was working on minor things while she was working on these major things. We did a complete detox program that was nothing more than amazing. It was shocking what happened, especially to my sister Diana. So long story short, a year later, not overnight, but a year later, staying on the program. I stayed there a couple weeks. She stayed at the facility a couple months, and then came home and continued the program as much as possible at home. And we both went, back to our working environments and all of that. And I want you to know that 12 months later, she could beat me on the tennis court. She can today. She kayaks, she does anything she wants. She is a healthy woman. So that just blew me away, to think that there's so many people who are diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis who just live the rest of their life with rheumatoid arthritis, and they don't have to. And I learned and that turned me on to having faith in the human body. These human bodies, I think, are amazing. I mean, you fall and you skin your knee, and what happens? Your body heals. You didn't need a prescription for that, by the way. You break your leg, you may need to have it set, but it's going to heal on its own. So our bodies are made to heal, whether you're getting over the flu or an accident or whatever. And yes, we can be assisted by the medical profession. The medical profession has two complete different sides, in my opinion. They've got the wonderful side where they save babies being born early, where if you're in an accident, you want to go to the emergency room. You want to take advantage of Western medicine in this fashion, because they're the best at all these things, at prosthesis and really life-saving surgeries and all of that. We do not want to negate that at all. We would not want to be without it. But where they fail us, and they fail us miserably, is when it comes to chronic disease, when it comes to those diseases that are really we are largely incurring them because of our lifestyle choices. And so doctors try to medicate that, and that just doesn't work. It does not work at all. You get one medication leads to side effects that leads to another medication because of those side effects, and it goes. And people like this. It may be you. I just want you to know that I learned that and witnessed since then. Oh my gosh, I've been drawn to stories of people who had cancer, stage 4. Today, they're vibrant and they're healthy. I've seen many people like my sister who had arthritis, and today they don't. I even have a friend who was legally blind through her diet, Chinese medicine, acupuncture, and a few other holistic things that she was doing for herself. She's got better vision than I do. I mean, talk about miraculous. She was walking with a stick and she couldn't drive, she couldn't do any of that. And she turned that around. I'm telling you, I believe the human body can do amazing things. We just have to do what it needs. We have to be aware. And so all of this led me to a couple perspectives. I really want people to know what it takes to be healthy before you have that first cancer cell that 10 years later develops into a breast tumor or prostate cancer. See, these things don't happen overnight, and that's the thing. We think, oh, you got a diagnosis today of something. Well, it didn't just happen today. If it's a chronic disease, including cancers, that started years ago, decades maybe ago. It's very empowering, and I used to hear a lot about genetics. Oh, my dad had a young man at one of my seminars. It was remarkable. One of the questions I asked everybody in the seminar was, at what age do you think you're going to die? And I made them all write their answer down. And this young man, he's probably 30 maybe, if that, he wrote down 52. And I said, and he was very firm about it. I said, well, what makes you think that's going to be your age of death? He said, because my grandfather died at that age and my father died at that age, and they both died of heart attacks, and I know it's in my genes. And I'll tell you what, in the next few minutes, that young man's life turned around. He learned that he doesn't necessarily, in fact, very likely does not inherit any of that definitive death date from his ancestors. No, he might inherit some lifestyle choices. He may eat the way they ate. He may not exercise or exercise the way they did. He may inherit those lifestyle things, but that's not really an inheritance. That's a choice. And the power in that is that you can make the choice to be healthy. There's so many, almost all of our genes that have anything to do with chronic disease. They are genes that you turn on with your bad choices, poor choices, negative choices, or you turn them off. And when you turn them off, that's because you had your 8 glasses of water today, you ate your organic food today, you moved your body a little bit today. I mean, it's very simple. There's nothing really complicated about it.
As I learned this information, I just became passionate about helping everybody I could, my family, my friends, my business associates, I mean, just everybody. There's really no one who doesn't benefit from understanding how much control we really do have over our bodies.
So I want to thank you for listening today. This has been and still is just a fabulous journey for me. It keeps me excited about life. Watching the transformations of people who are having health challenges to living vibrant lives, that excites me more than anything I can think of. So thank you for being a part of this. And here's what I know, and I want you to know. You're going to be a part of this community. You can join us. I want you to know that people look at you, people witness you. So if you have a health challenge and you attack it the right way, which we're going to help with, then you can be an inspiration and will be an inspiration to all those around you. And that makes such a huge difference. And so we're building up this big group of people who are health warriors, if you will, health defenders, so that we can all together really have a positive influence on the world, because it's not just one person. Nobody just believes one person, but they believe a lot of people going in the same direction with the same philosophies. So thank you so much for being a part of this.